Welcome to All About the Game podcast in association with Clinched. You can download our podcast on all platforms every Friday. Clinched is a sports app that helps link clubs with coaches. If you were a coach in rugby, soccer or GAA and you are ready for your next role or your first role, download and sign up to Clinched app for free today.
And Leinster looking to counter here. Sean O'Brien, well, if there's one player who can take a hit from Courtney Laws and stand and see it off and bounce off.
Raised thanks to the accurate free-taking of John Doyle. 2 points between the teams.
Football is hurling, and maybe in that moment should have slipped out early to go. Like, they can have a conversation and say, I want to make that decision, but it ultimately comes down to them.
Hello and you're very welcome back to episode 25 of All About the Game podcast in association with Clinched. I'm delighted to be joined again by Sean O'Brien, and it's great to have Kevin Feely, Kildare captain, in the studio. Kevin, you're very welcome.
Thanks, Podge. Good to be here.
How was the form? Good after last weekend anyways. Picked up a win. And
into the semi-final, that's the main thing. Yeah, but it wasn't the prettiest performance in the world, but big game coming up now against Sarsfield, so forward to that.
Yeah, not straightforward as you said against. It's probably good to see, in fairness to Cara, like coming up from intermediate to get to a quarter final and very competitive and pushes all the way. Yeah, like, it's good to see that in Kildare, that, you know, when teams coming up that they can be competitive, I suppose. But as you said, go over the line, and Sarsfield's a big one now, and of course that was a mental game. I don't know if you've seen the score. They were 2-15 to 1. Yeah,
12 down, 12 or 13 down.
13 down and looking in real trouble.
8 points down.
12 or 13,
13 points down. Jeez, I think I only seen it when I was 8 points down. I was like, holy God, these lads are...
Gale force wind, alright.
Strong wind, and it's mad how that's coming into effect. Was there actually much of a wind in your game? Or
there was a bit of a wind, but we didn't make any use of it at all. I think I was saying to beforehand, we had 3 out of 15 or something in the first half shots, and we only conceded 3, but we only scored 3. That was a bit fairly big wind.
So you were playing into the breeze into the second half.
I
actually thought when I seen the score, I said maybe.
It was the other way. We played better into the wind, but that was nearly just out of pure desperation because we couldn't believe how bad it was going in the first half. But like I said, Carlow will be a good senior team, I'd say. Savage age profile, they're very, very young, apart from 1 or 2 lads, so I can see them sticking around, alright.
It's probably something when you do have the wind as well. Sometimes you can maybe lead to kind of pot shots, not pot shots, but you are looking to get to
100%,
and obviously the accuracy is more difficult. Shawnee, the Fighting Cocks are into the quarter final. Have you been involved much this year?
No, I haven't had any real involvement this year. They're playing Asca tomorrow night. You'd expect them to beat Asca, but they haven't really been tested. Last weekend was the first kind of game that they came up against Loughlin and lost by 5, but had a 1-on-1 goal chance, I think, in the first half. One of the lads was saying missed it. I think they kicked 12 wide. So, and Loughlin, by all accounts, were set up fairly well, very defensive as well. So it was good. I think the way they felt after it was that they came away feeling a bit better after, because they'd missed a lot of opportunities, and had opportunities obviously to score and stuff. So I don't know. They've a few new lads in there this year, new players. They got in 3 or 4 lads, and they're after making up the job. So I don't know. We'll see where they are now. I think they'll beat Asca. I don't think Asca will be up to much, but then it'll be semi-final time, and then they'll come up against Palatine or Kilbride on that side of it.
See, Darragh Foley kicked 5-10 or something there.
Player, isn't he?
They were playing against nobody really, but he's still he's the man, You have to mark him, and that's it.
Take him out of the game. Championship when he starts a quarter final down in Carlow.
You're hoping so, Seán. Well, I ask you a few questions.
Make him uncomfortable now. The Larry's matches then.
Larry's, thanks for God to go over. I was saying, obviously losing to Kilcullen.
Lit a fire
2 weeks before, and then Castledermot Walls is closed. They said they couldn't be struggling to go for a pint if couldn't go into Cullen for a pint for the last 2 weeks. So couldn't go to the Cross.
No, one extra time. Penalties, was it?
Will Kelly,
extra time.
Will Kelly, he's with the Fighting Cocks.
Oh, is Willie down with the Fighting Cocks? Yeah, he was on the underdogs a few years ago.
Will was Will played rugby with Tullow, and then he moved to Carlow. He'd kind of a disagreement with one of our coaches, but He's playing rugby in Carlow now, and then he went to the Fighting Cocks. But he's living right across the road from Tuller Rugby Club.
Oh, right, okay.
Across from the entrance of it.
Right.
So yeah, but Will is actually...
He's a good bit of stuff.
Yeah, he's good. He's centre back now for the Cocks. That's
Nice one.
playing.
Yeah, good player to get in.
How are Carlow Rugby going, actually?
Carlow are going...
Did they go down last year?
They went down last year, yeah. Tullow won the last game of the season against Bective. We did in Tullow, and that actually sent Carlow down. But Carlow Rugby Club are building nicely. They've a young team, some good players on it, going a bit better, yeah. So they're in 1B now, and they lost last week in their first game of the season.
How does that work with promotion to AIL from 1A?
So
is it kind of one from each province, or how does that work?
So you go into a round robin. So the best in each province play each other, and then whoever comes out on top goes up into AIL.
Just one?
Yeah, just one. But it's I don't know. We wouldn't have any interest in doing that. We want to be in the top 4 of the 1A, obviously.
Yeah.
But when you go to AIL, it's just financially, you'd want heavy backing suit, and you'd want a big, deep squad, which we don't really have either.
Changes the whole kind of...
Changes the whole dynamic of it. And you're still playing on Saturdays now. We always used to say years ago, that it wouldn't suit us really. It wouldn't suit Tullow, because most of the lads are farmers and they're working hard on Saturdays. Sundays are day off. And even you would notice in the last 4 years since we've been up in that division that the crowds aren't as big until nearly after the game. Lads are finished work, farmers are finished work.
And they all come in.
It's gas. Where Sunday to be a serious session in the club all day. They'd be there at 1 o'clock, and they wouldn't be leaving until 11 or 12 o'clock. And lads full as bulls in it. But that was their day off. But now we're kind of got used to it. We've a younger team now, and they actually prefer playing Saturdays because it gives them more of a weekend. And they can go have their few pints after a game on a Saturday and recover Sunday and do what they want. But it's actually a very competitive league, that 1A and 1B. There's not much between 1A and 1B. You play them in the cup and stuff, very tough games. But it's great. It's great for the whole area, because
they stayed up last year. I think it was between them and Carlow last year.
Athy.
Yeah. And then Athy, I think, they're going all right this year.
They've lost the first two,
but tightly, tight games kind of thing. Yeah.
They lost us in the first game of the year. We weren't really, to be fair, we thought not that we thought it beat us, but on paper they probably had a better outfit than we had out. Yeah. We still have all our footballers away. But they had a couple of footballers back for that game. Right, which they wouldn't usually have either, but to be fair to the club, they put in a massive effort the last few years. But Athy are very strong, obviously, Carlow very strong, Tullow very strong. Those 3 clubs that are very tight to each other, they're all doing well, to be fair,
That's
but
great.
they're very good committees. I know some of the Thai lads, and you'd be down at the club there with under 18s and stuff as well, and the underage setups and the way they're driving the whole thing in all clubs there now. Carlow, Tullow, Athy is excellent. So it's developing well. It's just no different than the football clubs, young lads out there on Sundays, it's crazy, the mini stuff. So but it'll be interesting how that all fares out this year.
It goes, absolutely. Well, I suppose, Kev, you're a very interesting guest in terms of the career you've had with soccer, and obviously been over in England and playing at a high level, and coming back then to GA, and obviously being captain of Kildare and winning the Tailteann Cup now. Growing up, you were originally in Waterford. Did you used to live in Waterford? Yeah. And it was about 15 or 16, was it, when you came to there? Yeah. Castle Mitchell, were they on to you first, or was Trevor? I remember someone saying, I heard you went to Castle Mitchell first time, and I was thinking, yes. I didn't know if that was ever
No, actually, it was because it would have been Larry's, actually, a little bit, because I was in... I was in the same class as... remember Danny O'Driscoll and Shane Bell and them guys, Right. And I hadn't really gone up to football training yet at all, and they were the first lads I talked to nearly, and then they were like, I was like, where are you playing? They were like, we're out in Lawrence's. I was like, I must go out. And then next thing, my mother said, Shane Purcell was after ringing her about going up to under 16 training in Athy, and that was it. Rest was history then, Podge.
But I suppose
you're behind the 8 ball.
Jesus Christ. But I suppose I remember at the time, when you did go to Athy, that age group, obviously we're the same age, Kev. It was a really strong Athy team, and
we had a good team coming through.
And did you win a minor championship?
Our age won. We were the last of the 3 in a row. Mine and yours age. And then the 91 age won it, and then Brian Kinahan's age 1990, and that they won it.
Yeah,
but I would have been there for them, but my transfer didn't go through in time for the first one.
Right.
When I was under 16. Then we won the Keenan Darroch's age, and then the
following year.
Yeah, like I said, it was just a good crop of Athy lads.
Yeah, it was. It made up the senior team really. That
was
that went in
for the next 10 years.
Yeah,
or whatever.
Because even at that time, Athy you probably weren't pushing for senior championships, whereas when that crop came through.
Yeah.
At that time, were you playing soccer in Dublin, or?
So once I kind of found out that we were moving to Athy, my dad worked in Waterford Crystal down in Waterford, and then they actually went bust, if you remember, during the crash. And then he got a job in Minch Norton's in Athy, and then we were moving up. We were kind of said, we'll look into Dublin for soccer, and then went playing with Belvedere in Dublin. Straight away, like the minute I moved up there and joined them, so I didn't play with Tailteann or anything at any stage, just straight up to Belvedere, and that would have been like the number one kind of priority
at the time.
At the time, even actually before I moved up, like hurling would have been way ahead of football before I moved up, kind of thing. And then when I realised that
hurling would have been ahead of football, would it?
Yeah, it would have been soccer and hurling in Waterford, like, because football.
Were you handy enough for hurling as well? Yeah,
I would have playing development squads like with Waterford, but not nowhere near like the best on the development squads or anything like that. But in and around it kind of thing. I might have made a county minor team, but not as a main lad, I wouldn't say.
Okay,
sub. Yeah, that's the easier way of putting it. But there was no hurling obviously in Athy at the time, or Athy and Lawrence was kind of sometimes merged and had a bit of a team. But found out fairly quickly that football was the religion or whatever. Yeah, actually, I was blown away by the standard. I couldn't get over it. We went to under 16 championship match, Athy and Naas, and it was like I said, never seen like intensity and pace and skill like it. I thought it was unbelievable. So that kind of made me think, this is the place to be. Like,
because it's funny. Like I always thought about soccer. Like it was probably something that made it harder for you when you did go to England. That Athy were so strong, and obviously. We were the same age at under 21 Kildare, and we had a really good team, and you weren't around, and like when you think about the players we had and throw you into the middle, it probably made that more difficult, and maybe that kind of homesickness for you. But as I said, you played a few years with Athy. Had you been over the trials for England before, or was it your first?
No, I wouldn't. Again, I wasn't good enough teenager to be doing that, but with Belvedere, we finished schoolboys, and Belvedere's under 17 team became the reserve team for Bohs League of Ireland. There used to be a reserve league and an under 21 league, and we kind of just merged into them and became that, and then played a year of that, and then a year or two with the first team at Bohs, and then it was in my second year playing. So it would have been about 19 or that 18 or 19. That would have been the first time I got any kind of interest over the water. And then how
was playing for Bohs? I'd say that was like good,
I loved it.
Savage atmosphere.
Yeah, I know.
Like smaller stadium, but packed then every week. And
well, now like they were going through terrible financial difficulty at the time. That was the only reason we actually got a go. The young lads is because they almost went bust, like very close to it. So they couldn't really pay anyone, so we weren't getting paid or anything like that. We were just because we were young, we were pure eager, like kind of wanted. So there was a good group of maybe 10 or 11 of us that were playing with the first team who were only kind of between 18 and 21. Some of them were getting a bit of expenses, but the rest of us weren't getting paid. But the crowds, coming back to was the crowds wouldn't have been massive then. They're not like what it is now. League of Ireland's after taking off, like it's flying, and Bohs especially, like, and the Dublin clubs are getting huge crowds. But I know still it was a massive buzz, like, because I kind of didn't have any expectation after secondary school of where it was going to go. So that was deadly, in fairness.
I suppose it gave you the opportunity for Charlton to come knocking. And what way, like, do you have an agent, a rugby man?
No, it wasn't like that. Really. No, they ring the club or no, there was a lad who kind of half represented, not represented, but he was based in Ireland, and he used to find out if clubs were like sniffing around, and he'd try and get ahead of it and ring different lads and say, I can help you out with that and all this kind of thing. So there was a very accurate description, but no, there was in that year there was a couple of clubs. So I went over to Charlton on a trial, to Stoke, and to Peterborough, and during that season kind of did a few of them, and that was an unbelievable experience. Absolutely loved it. and then went to Charlton in the end. I think it was 2012 in around then. But it was, it was tough, because we won the senior championship in 11 the year after you won it. Did you win it in 10?
We won it in 09.
9, I didn't celebrate.
You won it in
and
11.
Then us in 11, yeah.
We got sent off in the quarter final. You beat us in the
Yeah,
semi-final.
that's right.
Missed it,
The 2 penalties. Yeah.
Missed the penalties,
and we'd won that in 11, and then when our second year 21s, a good few, you were with the senior team at that stage, I think.
Yeah.
And then Geezer that winter asked me in as well, and I kind of said, I'm going to give the soccer a rattle. So it was good. It was good to see that I kind of gave the soccer a go and it worked out for me. But at the same time, I could see all that crop coming through, like all of yourself and Paul and Hurley and Don and however many others. Like there was so many went on and played senior, so it was tough at the time. But I kind of got a bit tunnel vision once I was doing all them trials. I said, "Oh, geez, this is my chance, and I may go for it."
You have to do that as well, don't you? It's just, while you love your club and your county and everything, this your home comforts and everything. But when you get an opportunity like this to be in that professional environment, like you just have to say no.
Yeah.
I've had actually a conversation recently with 2 younger lads from our club, and they're on about like the county minors already, the minor managers are on to them already. But these 2 lads are fucking class. Like they'll go into the system if they stay at it, like into So I'm like saying to them, like, you can play football, lads, for the next 15 years, but you literally have another year and a half to break it. If you want to now, I said, if you want to, but you have to commit to it. And that's just the way it is. It's a bit different, I think. That's where I think the football, obviously, let's say in our county, they're trying to push them to football, where it actually should be the other way around, I think. They should be trying to push them towards a professional sport, because there's not that many of them. You know what I mean? There's 2 lads there now that are going to be crackers, like. But like they have to have I would be saying anyway, if I was a minor manager or something, I'd be saying to their parents, go have the crack for the year. Go have a crack at that for a year or a year and 2 or 3 months, whatever it's going to take. And then look, the door's never closed here. Yeah. Like they're back in for under 20s next year.
Yeah.
As a county player.
When it's a chance to make a living, as you say, if them 2 lads are good enough to get a professional contract and have a career, and like realistically doing something you love, like imagine if someone said, "Jeez, you get paid every week to play for Kildare," and had that chance, like sure, Jesus, like
you should be jumping at it. But the other thing is, even if they don't make it, what they're bringing back to football and soccer and everything, like whatever sport they're playing, like it's massive, like, and they'll have a bit of professionalism about them. They'll surely learn something, what to bring back to whatever they're coming into.
Brian Murphy was like that actually, and he was like the positive version of that when we were minor, and I was playing soccer and playing with the minor, and it kind of early on he's like, "Oh, like are you good? Like, think you have a chance or whatever?" I was like, "Oh, maybe whatever," and he let me. He was like, "Yeah, work away at it. So you make whatever trainings you can, but I know that's your first priority. Work away at it." Like, but he was brilliant. Like he's best, he's unbelievable manager.
Even if you had a bad experience with him and he said, "No, it's either one or the other," you could actually go, like, you've come back and look what you've done for Kildare.
Imagine the impact that could have had.
Like you could say, "Do you know what, fuck the football," or do you know, like if you have bad experiences where you probably give him twice as much because you know.
You know that he's actually trying. He's your best interested.
That's it.
I always say, like, that's what I always. Even like one of the young lads last week there, he played minor on Tuesday. He trained with the seniors on Wednesday. Now, no one knew this until Saturday, let's say. Then he played minor training Thursday night again, and it was called off or something happened anyway, or maybe it was a game. Then he played junior on Friday night, and then he played an under 18 game on Saturday. He rocks up to the game, so he does. No, this is one of my best lads now. And he rocks up to the game, and I was looking at him, and I was like, Jesus, he doesn't look right. So I just watched him, and then our warm was about 23 minutes. The minute I started to warm up, he was like walking around. I said, "No, come over here, you. What's going on?" I looked down at his knee. He'd like a hematoma on his knee, like a dead, like just below it, like massive, like bruising on it, and everything.
Never said anything.
So I actually called over his dad after. I said I walked when we finished the game. We won the game and all, but he just wasn't at the race, so I took him off, and I walked off the field with him, and I was explaining to him, like, the process of like what'll happen to him if he just keeps trying to please everyone.
Yeah.
He's 17 years of age.
End up no good to know him.
But the club or the football club are putting pressure on him, not the minor. I had no issue with him playing minor, but the juniors shouldn't have asked him to play on Friday again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I said to his parents after, and his father agreed with me completely. And I was like, I don't care what he does, but the night before a game, no.
Yeah, it's madness.
I don't care what it is. I said, but the night before a rugby game, I said, like, he's coming here today. He's one of our most physical lads.
Yeah, that's true.
And like, he's not able to. I said, that's going to happen. Something will pop. And
I'd be ruined.
so I asked him to speak to. I said to the father, I said, if you can speak or get Tomas to speak to the managers, like, so whatever about playing minor is good for his development. He's training away. I said, I don't want to see him in the rugby field. I said, when he's training with them, Tuesday, Thursday, whatever. Pick one of the nights. Whichever one you think is best, because I know that's going on to me at the championship. So anyway, that's where we are with a lad like him. But I'd rather say that straight to him rather than saying, "Oh, you're not playing."
Because he's only a young lad as well, and he's trying to please everyone, and once doesn't mind.
And he actually came to training last night. He had a dead leg from the minor match.
Of course.
So I actually texted him. Would you believe I texted him there 2 hours ago? And I said, I'm not going to play you tomorrow night. We're actually playing tomorrow night.
Right.
So I said, just take the weekend off now. I said, and get yourself right for next week.
It's rare you get managers.
2 or 3 knocks now, like in the last 10 days nearly. He's after playing 2 minor matches, and he's played 2 junior games.
Yeah,
and he's played rugby again for half a game. Like, where do we go on though? But no one actually, I don't think, and I think we mentioned it before in the pod here, the management side of that, like the player welfare side of it. Young lads, like, no wonder young lads get sick of football and soccer and rugby.
They're sure burnt out, sure.
Burnt out, like, you have to be like, you
everyone
have to have
dragging out
some
them,
kind of structure,
no,
well, anyway.
100%.
None of that in Clonmore to minute. They're not burnt out over there.
No, big weekend coming now.
Big day Saturday now.
They're in the corner tonight. They're in the corner over there in Lancaster drinking pints probably.
Far from the corner. I'll be in there. I'll keep an eye on.
I don't think you'll be allowed in there now if you don't go in this weekend.
Just give me an awful hard time, man. I suppose, Kev, you ended up in Charlton and you had a few loan moves and was it Newport County then you signed with? How were them for years? Was enjoyable, homesick, like I was kind of saying, probably pros and cons. Living the life of a professional sports athlete was probably pretty cool. And
no, that kind of overrides everything. Like playing sport for your living there's nothing in the world that beats it. Like it's literally unbelievable. You'd be pinching yourself at times that's what you're doing. But no, like I first year I went over to Charlton, absolutely loved it. I was like pure determined and thought I'm going to go well here, and we had a good first year and that. I never got mad homesick. Like kind of I was with my wife at the time. We were together back then as well, and like I used to kind of go over, or I'd go home or she'd come back over every kind of 4 to 6 weeks or that. It wasn't too bad, a very manageable kind of thing. And so I wasn't hugely homesick until you went and won the Leinster Championship under 21. That was tough now. Missing out on that because we were knocked out in the first round in 2 years before that. That I did play it, but Charlton was deadly now, but it ended up, and like looking back, it was probably a level above where I would have been able to get to. Like I just played reserves and 21s with them, and then after my first year, they went on a pre-season training camp to Spain. And I was just finished I was just overage for the 21s, so I thought, I'll definitely be going on this camp because like there's nothing else to do otherwise. Like, and I didn't get any information about it, and I didn't see the manager, and I was like, am I staying home? Like, or what's the story here? He goes, you're not in my plans this year. And I had another year left in my contract.
Who was the manager at the time?
Chris Powell. Do you know him?
Oh, yeah.
I think he was like England assistant manager for a while. Yeah.
He actually played with Charlton, I think.
He did, he'd be a hero there. Like, he's massive there.
Jeez, that's like talk about cutthroat. Like,
soccer is ruthless. I don't know what rugby would be like in that regard. I kind of get the feeling they look after the players a bit more than that. Like,
they would, to be fair. Wouldn't you say that anyway?
So he goes. He said you're not in the plans. Now, in fairness, he kind of didn't really sign me. So it was the lad who was over the reserve team that signed me, and Nathan Jones actually. Unbelievable. Like, and he went on and took the Brighton first team job at the year after I left. So I kind of was left with no one in my corner, if you like.
Was he very good with you and all?
Unbelievable, best coach of any level, any sport they've worked.
Really, was he? Yeah.
Class, yeah. And then your man just said, we're not in the plans, you just try and find a loan club for yourself, kind of thing. And did a couple of loan moves, got injured at one of them with Wimbledon, had an absolute disaster at Carlow, like funnily bad, like couldn't go any worse, kind of thing.
Just kind of random mistakes happening, or
exactly. So they were League One at the time, which was actually like the jump between kind of youth football and senior is massive. Like I was playing under 21 games against Tottenham and West Ham, and you think, able for this, like no bother. And then the jump to playing against men, like even at League One, it's just a world of difference. The intensity is off the charts compared to like a development squad game kind of thing. And I had a couple of bad games where we got hammered, and like they say like I was the reason that lad got the sack. So he brought me in on loan. We lost the first game 4-1 away to Bradford, and we lost 5-0 to Coventry at home. And like I was at fault for, I'd say there was 9 goals there, I was at fault for 7 of them, I'd say. And your man got the sack after the second game. And I was like,
that must be hard on you though. It
was the roughest time ever. So
didn't you have any family around over there?
And Carlisle is in the back arse of nowhere as well. It's kind of next stop, kind of Scotland. But and that was like an 8-hour drive from Charlton to Carlisle or whatever. So that was definitely a tough time. But anyway, that went the way it went. I did about a month there, came back to Charlton, played reserves for most of the rest of the year, and I kind of resigned myself to coming back to Kildare. And then Newport County, their manager got in touch, said we need a centre back for the last 12 games of the season. And I remember saying to my dad, I don't really want it, I'm going to come home anyway, like what's the point? And he was kind of said, no, you don't want to leave on that note, try and leave on a positive note. And I went there, and it went really well, and that kind of changed my perspective a little bit more. I remember Jason Ryan was Kildare manager at the time, and that summer, do you remember playing a challenge match down in Tip? No, outside the Sarsfields. I played that game.
Standing in my head in the game.
I played that game, and I was kind of humming and hawing. But then I said Newport County had offered me a 2-year deal to go back to them.
Right.
They were League Two, which was much more my level, I think. Then, and I said, make the same thing. My dad said, you'll regret if you don't give senior soccer a go. I went back, and I absolutely loved me 2 years at Newport. Then kind of played fairly regularly.
Wales, isn't it?
Yeah, Wales beside Cardiff. Yeah.
We share
we share a stadium with the Dragons. They used to make shite of the pitch, and they'd always be playing on a Friday, and we'd be playing on a Saturday. And it worked out in the end because teams hated playing us because the pitch was absolutely brutal. But that was brilliant. The people as well, like compared to Championship and London especially, you get a lot of egos, and whereas League Two, Wales, a lot like you're on the same wage as an electrician, there's no kind of a lot more down to earth kind of thing.
And everyone's probably on around
and
the
fans are absolutely crazy there.
If they support you, they love you. That's it. So
it's fairly how would you say, it's not intimidating, but it's hostile in that when you go to the Dragons. Like, they be abusing you going down the line, walking down the line, even to the coach's box.
It's a rough.
You're looking around going, what the fuck?
It's an intimidating place to go.
It's gas.
And would it be like, say you're playing at Saturday, then like would it be kind of like a GA or after league game? Would a few lads head out together, or would lads kind of stick to themselves?
There would have been different kind of little social circles within the squad, but. Yeah, way more relaxed on the social side of things than football was. Now, I don't. It could be different this year. This is 12 years ago now.
I know, but it was kind of,
It was, there was no issue with
going
out on a Saturday night, regardless.
Turn up for training on your Monday.
Football is the only sport. I think that there's all this drink ban and stuff around.
It was mad. I couldn't.
See, it's probably different, I suppose. We say Kildare, then you've maybe 7 league games, and it feels like a block, and it's like, there's every game is so important. Where I suppose if you have a 38 game season, it's like, I don't know. It is like sometimes I'd say maybe teams have a drinking ban during championship or whatever, where if they were playing league games, like say if you have 12 or 14 league games, like if the Thai lads were going out after a league game and were playing again the following week, you wouldn't even think about it last week, where it's different. But I suppose just looking after yourself and all, but it's different. Yeah, no, it
trust
is.
The players.
You can really have a podcast.
You have to have a good group of players, and you have to trust them.
That's exactly. Yeah, that
they're a bunch of
I suppose if it goes into the Sunday and then they're trying to.
That's the problem. Like, you shouldn't be going into the Sunday.
Turns into 2 or 3 days.
Yeah. It depends on your group, doesn't it?
It does,
because you could have a young group who, if you give them a lot of rope, they'll take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Or if you're more of experienced group with nice mix, they never do.
Yeah. If you have a few lads early, that'll pull then and say those managers.
Yeah, exactly. 3 or 4 pints in home, lads. Look.
Yeah, and I suppose you're probably worried, glad you done that extra 2 years. Turned out knowing that you know, if you left Carlow, you went where the Jays. I was way off it, or I never would have. Where
I think so.
Got that.
That definitely helped kind of paint the experience with a better kind of brush, if that makes sense. That I kind of I was happy with how it finished up, kind of thing, and then very much kind of left on my own terms, because I just I kind of the main reason was I was relatively comfortable at League Two, but I kind of knew in myself that another step up and I'd be out.
That's very kind of honest.
What's the biggest thing you found then with the step up? Like what
pace?
What pace?
Yeah. All of a sudden, every striker you're playing is rapid. Like, I was centre back, and League Two would be at the time was fairly agricultural in the style of football, and it suited me. Like, it was win your headers, win your tackles. You know, play the offside trap properly, and you're okay. You'll get by here. And I was reasonably okay on the ball as well, but the sharper, kind of faster strikers, I was having to play very deep, like to not get caught wrong side, and then they'd get more space in front of you. And then when they're better players and they have more space, then you're getting kind of found out a little bit. And I was against the top teams in League Two. You could see I was like, I don't know, like I may be a bit off this kind of thing, but I knew I could kind of get by with that. But I knew as well that I was, you know, if a game wasn't going our way, it felt like there was nothing really I can do to impact this. I'm just a cog in the wheel here, as opposed to a game changer. Whereas it felt like in football, I had more. There was more I could do to impact the game,
influence.
And that was kind of eating at me. And then I said, I seen all you getting onto the Kildare team. I said, you know, anytime I came home in the summer, actually from soccer, I was playing league games with Athy and absolutely loving it. Like, I'm just saying, maybe I'll go back and do that, because, like I said, I was fairly content with what I'd done in England, but didn't have huge ambition. And I thought that's wrong. Like, if I don't really have any goals to move beyond this level, then something's not
you
right.
Were always thinking, I can't wait to go home and
that's
play
it. Whereas I knew going back to football that I was like, I have massive goals here. Like, I want Kildare to win Leinster and all this. But
quick one on Rory's getting on well enough.
Cork aren't. But sorry, he's back in League of Ireland.
He's back in Cork. Nice one.
He came back from Crawley in a couple of months back and signed for Cork. Now they are rooted to the bottom of the table. League, but they actually they've turned it around a little bit, that they're in with some sort of a chance, and they're in the semi-final of the FAI Cup on Friday week. And he's playing every week and enjoying it. Like, we thought we'd get him for football.
I know,
this was the time to come back and play football, but no, he just loves the soccer. And
I suppose coming back to play with Kildare then, and it was Geezer over when Jason Ryan was
Jason Ryan, and then Jason just left. Cian O'Neill had just come in.
Cian O'Neill had just come in, because I was thinking I kind of missed each other. Then I was played under Jason, and then was with Keane for a few weeks, and he said, "You're too heavy, chop."
You were back for the junior team then.
That was gonzo.
Jim how big the pre-season panel was Keane's first year. 54 or something on it.
He said he said, "Give me a few weeks till it was weight," and I didn't lose it in the amount of time that I was supposed to. So that was fair enough. But
why did you balloon like after the season finished?
I didn't play for a year. I didn't play for a year because I had back surgery, and then I played. My first game back with Minute, we played in a challenge. Kildare, and I came on centre forward and played well. But I was going to New Zealand that summer for a few weeks. And then I played a Kildare junior game, actually. It was going to play Meath, and I done well enough. I got 111 or 112. And I was talking to Keane Neal, but I said I was going to New Zealand, but I would like a chance maybe next year. I think you were had been at a training camp or something that weekend. It was kind of, and I wasn't at that level anyway. So I came in then following season, but I wasn't up to the pace, and I was probably relying on having Kildare for 6 months to get me to the pace.
Oh, I get you.
Whereas, like, I needed to be at the pace going in.
Yeah,
I mean?
If he had given you a bit of rope there to give you that time to get to the pace.
And actually, Jack O'Connor was brilliant. He gave, because I didn't lose Athy for about the first 6 or 7 or 8 weeks, and then the way it fell off me, and we were playing, remember the game in Armagh, and it was pissing rain.
With Jack O'Connor?
Yeah. I was on, Jack had said to me on the Tuesday night, he says, look, you're in the panel, you can get your spec game time, and I was going alright. And on the Thursday I tweaked my hamstring, and then COVID came, and I wasn't disciplined enough in the few months off. It came back around, and he just said, look, championship on now, and you're not kind of fit enough. So that was it, which he was fair enough. I wasn't mad big, but I wasn't fit enough, really, like, so it was my own doing.
But in the meantime, you and Fiona produced one of the funniest videos ever. Kicking the ball against the wall.
Jesus, don't want to bring that up now.
If
we can edit
put that
this
in
out.
a clip in there.
Jesus Christ, that was my highlight of
COVID summer.
Been back in with Kildare, but because I used to go in, remember I used to go into Hawfield and collect the
GPS unit.
Get the GPS and go and do the running then and put it back in. So I was doing it, but it was funny, like, lads were up, but I just needed to be in that kind of environment where I was eating well all the time, looking after myself, where I was sitting around at home, you do the run, come home and reward myself with a bowl of ice cream and
one ball led to 2 balls.
So that's but so it was
Keane
it was Keane, and sure, really good few years with Keane. You probably enjoyed getting back into it then.
I loved it, yeah 16, 17, 18, and I couldn't believe that how professional inter-county football was, like, resources wise. Kildare GA would have been way ahead of Newport County in terms of like resources available to them, and a strength and conditioning coach, top nutritionists, excellent physios, this kind of thing, and like training facility unbelievable. Like, even the gym that was in Brady's, like, Newport County didn't have they didn't have a clubhouse or anything like that. They kind of had these prefabs, and they rented a spot out near an athletics track, and they put in like these second-hand, like, as a room this size of a few weights, like, that was a gym. So I
just so they could say they had one there.
Exactly, it was just a box taking exercise. So I couldn't believe that, how professional the setup was with Kildare, like, and sure, absolutely loved it, like, and
right up your CR,
into that, and Keane was a good one. Keane was class. Like, again, he's probably a better coach than the manager. I think he'd probably come into that conclusion, obviously, if he's that's what he's doing. But in terms of coaching, like, absolutely brilliant. And
it's probably because it's so hard to do both.
And he wanted to do both, didn't he? Yeah, a bit of a control freak.
You can't actually do both.
No.
Yeah.
Especially at that level, I suppose.
If you are a good coach and you want to stop, you need to stop coaching to be a manager. If you actually have a good way with people, I think.
Flano did that, in fairness.
Because I was kind of interested to see. I'd say if Flano would have been really hands-on with, obviously, Johnstown Bridge or with the 20s, but he's having to... I suppose, and look, we'll get into it now. He's Davy Birkin and obviously Aidan O'Rourke there and Damo and Flinner. But, like, to go and get Davy, like, was a big, like, and it's funny, a lot of people would say, well, showing no ego there, like, as in, because Davy's
who's Davy work now?
Davy Burke would have, he managed the Kildare under 21s to an All-Ireland, and then he was with Roscommon the last few years. He would have been,
Johnny had the main manager for Roscommon there, last 3 years.
3 years, and Johnny would have had him with Minute. Where else?
Sarsfield's won a championship.
Sarsfield's won a championship.
Was over Wicklow.
Wicklow he done really well with, and actually Wicklow probably struggled a bit after him, because Mark Jackson was in here a few weeks ago, and he said, like, I said the manager, they got rid of the manager kind of halfway through or something, and he said but he said whoever followed Davy was going to be under pressure because they loved him. He's brilliant. Davy's so good, and I'm sure there's a good old buzz now with him coming on board.
Yeah. Everyone was surprised though. Like everyone else in the county, you just didn't think.
Yeah,
this is two number ones. Like, how does that mix?
Yeah,
like,
and I thought I was kind of thinking Davy. I thought like he'd be holding on, going, "Fuck that, I want." But he probably sees that, right? Flano, really good start. He's probably going to be there 4 or 5 years. So it's either, maybe go in now and be part of it, or who knows what's going to be there in 4 or 5 years, or like the opportunity mightn't be there. But
it probably spoke about too in terms of giving him rope to do what he wants.
Yeah,
you know
I'd say so. Yeah,
and you're saying
Flano's that good, like, you know what I mean. He's a good way about him. Obviously, that's what you need to do. You need to empower the coaches. Just be all on the one wavelength, and then let him off. Let him coach.
Trust him to go.
Let him coach. You're there to manage the bigger picture, like, and people and coaches as well, obviously.
Because we were surprised at that, because, like I said, Flano he's a coach, and I've never had him as a coach, but by all accounts, he's an excellent coach. Like, he did a great job with Summerhill, and she hasn't does no coaching. Right. But you wouldn't. It looks very natural. Like, he just looks like he's always been the manager, which is deadly. And Aidan and Damo and Flynn, and now obviously Davy, who again I'd say he definitely coached. I'd say with Roscommon. Like,
definitely,
he loves coaching. Like, so again, that's putting him in his strongest thing, and Aidan there, and like, I think it'll work very well. It's exciting, like you said.
It is exciting, and look, obviously congratulations on the Tailteann Cup, and like, it's funny, the first year I was in it, like, everyone was like, giving out, like, oh jeez, we're in the Tailteann Cup, where are we at? But like, last year, like, if you're in the Tailteann Cup, the only thing you can do is go and win it, like, that's, and beat the teams, and then and like, you've done that, you've put the heads down, you've went, and there is some,
that's that whole transition we spoke before as well, with that's your level at the time.
That's it. You have to accept that.
You have to accept that and move on with it. And now it's done. They've ticked the boys have ticked the box. Now it's right. What's our next step here? So like, you'll always have, I suppose, because Kildare are so strong in football over the years, you'll always have people going, "Jeez, they shouldn't be doing that, or they shouldn't be in that. They're better than that." But actually, no, they're not better than that yet. They're building again. You know what I mean? Now they've this group coming through now again, and a bit of momentum now after winning that this year. Like, now they can start to properly kick on.
And it does put you like into a position that, like, you can really look forward to games against like the best teams in, and sure, if you take a baiting along the way, it's part of a learning as well. Like,
100%.
Going, but that's where you want to be, and that's where, like, and there is a bit of a buzz now created again. And I suppose, look, I know Dublin, new management coming in, but like, it does give. You never go to a game thinking you can't win, but like, Dublin were just so dominant that it was fucking hard in Leinster for 7 or 8 years there, where they were fucking like, how many did they win?
They were different gravy.
Different gravy. But like, it is the playing field even in Leinster. Like, imagine Kildare won in Leinster. Jesus, it'd be fucking as good as well in Ireland. Like, but like,
I'd say that's the most exciting thing about going back. Like, is Leinster at the moment. Like, because
going back with a live chance. Like, and I'm sure this year
five teams are.
This year you were probably half kicking yourselves, going, like, should have beaten loud, and then you
never know what would happen.
You would, like, So, but it is,
like I said, in my playing career, that's the first. Well, I'm 33 now. Like, it's the first year I'm ever going into a Leinster championship. Well, last year as well a bit.
Yeah, but
last year was off the back of a miserable year the year before. Whereas this year it's off the back of, as you said.
And even last year, people probably still thought Dublin, and then it was like they were bet, and that's where, as you say, you're going in then.
That's it, And sure, now, like I said, there's 5 teams that could, that could give Leinster a good rattle, and I'd say even as a fan, it has to be exciting.
Well, like, it'll get crowds back. Like, I remember we played a minor. Were you playing in that? You could have been gone to England, or we played Dublin in the Leinster minor final in Croke Park. That
was the year out of your age. And the replay in Carlow. You played. No, I was only just after arrived.
You were just arriving, because I was inside with Darragh and Keane, but we played Dublin. I remember Darragh scored a 45 with about 10 minutes to go, and he given all this, but it was packed, and we drew. But we came. I remember coming out to the second game with Kildare in Dublin, and stadium full, 80,000. I think Dublin won by 2 or 3 points, and I went to score 2 goals later on, but it was electric. But even when you'd be going in on buses, like, the crowds. And then I remember, like, 5 or 6 years ago, going up to a game and going for, a few of us went for a pint in the pub, and I was like, there was no one in there, and you were looking around going, jeez, like, playing Dublin in a Leinster semi-final, and there was no atmosphere, where everything, as you say, supporters, crowds.
Sure, it's gone too easy for him.
It was gone too easy.
For Dublin. It was a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, it was.
No one was able to live with anything they were doing.
Yeah.
No.
Strength, everything, like the football.
It opens it back up.
I think Dublin will struggle this year.
I'm
saying it now.
You think you don't think that?
I don't think
there is a big transition there.
There's a massive transition there, and like
a few boys come back, Fenton and Mannion, and
but there's talk of that. But is that the answer either? Like, is it a short-term fix?
I know what you mean.
For not to though. It probably is a short-term fix. If
it's a short-term fix to build a bit of fear again in other teams and a bit of mindset with the group that's there, maybe having a few of those as back.
And if they're gone again next year, where does
it leave you?
It's just always a funny one, I'm sure.
They have to come back and they don't do well.
Yeah, sure then.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It's risky.
The thing is probably for Ger Brennan, he's thinking, feck it anyway. Like, I just want to get the best players.
Well, he wants to feel obviously comfortable too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and secure with it. Okay,
I
know what these boys.
Well, that's Dublin hierarchy. We're saying, look, it's going to take a few years to get these two lads again, but they'll be.
Anyway,
and look, they're good side either way.
Yeah.
But it will be good, and there's a good old buzz around, and you're feeling good, Kev, and like, I suppose to probably been in that professional sport, and you do look after yourself well. Probably has stood to you. Remember you I know you done the Achilles, but you haven't injuries wise.
Not too bad. Yeah, a couple. Yeah, the Achilles, and had a knee as well. That was kind of medium term, kind of 4-month injury. But it hasn't been too bad. Usual kind of muscle niggles and things. You get older, calves are big ones when you start getting older. I don't know what that is. There's actually an injury called old man calf. See, apparently that's linked to your age. But like nothing. I haven't missed a whole lot of matches really. Like, I've been lucky that way. I was injured nearly at the right times all the time. Like, I missed one club championship with a tie with the Achilles, and then was back for when Kildare started. Like, so.
Plenty left in the tank.
I don't know.
You do.
Yeah.
I suppose Kevin Feely Athletic Therapy is that's the company name anyway. That's so I suppose it gives you a good insight into fairly quick. How's that been going? Busy?
It's grand. I know it's tipping away nicely. Like with up in Tailteann, I rent a room out of a gym up in Tailteann. I've been up there 7 or 8 years now, and it's absolutely grand. It's like you could definitely be putting more time into it, but it's nearly impossible with the football as well, kind of a thing. But it's not definitely. It's in a position hopefully that when I do finish up, I can kind of put a bit more time into it and try and grow it a little bit more or whatever. But absolutely. For now,
it's funny when
great.
You say that. Like the thing just reading with the GPA lately, seeing that like what players' money you're missing out on. As you said, like perfect example. Like you would be. You could probably do a few more evenings there or whatever.
This is it, weekends and
like,
that,
It's crazy.
They have to get that. Like, what players put into it, it's an amateur sport, so it's not like, we're paying all the players. But Jesus, give them, like, what players give the supporters and...
everything,
like, sometimes then you hear when players retire, it's like, we'll have to give back. And I'm like, give back? Like, what the give? Like, no, but
I know what you mean.
It's kind of like an old Irish thing or something, but like, Jesus, give them the few...
Should they do, I said this before, they do more training than professionals do.
Yeah,
put more hours.
Terms
it's the hours.
Like I'd even said, you talked about calves or the old man calves. Even at the end of my days, we used to load our calves after games.
Right.
So we'd be talked out food, back to the gym, and the boys still do it now to this day.
Right.
Back into the gym
heavy
and like load
stuff.
heavy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean heavy to be 250 kilos on the bar, like loading their calves.
Yeah.
And they could play the test match, like they still do that.
Every profile of player or just the older kind of lads?
A good few. The majority of lads that have to load.
Yeah, front row lads get
after a game,
don't they?
Yeah, they go in after a game. Like that's why when we go back on a bus after like playing in the Viva or playing in Crow Park, you just see the boys to be heading for the gym straight away.
Yeah, it's probably the only window they have to load heavy.
That's the thing, because they won't do it the next day. They won't be too stiff. They won't be too sore. So it's the best time to actually load up, and probably the safest.
Yeah.
You know
what I mean? That warm, yeah.
But they're still doing it.
Write that down. Put that to the athletic therapy.
I remember, like even in the last year in London Irish with me, because I had a few. Solace was at me a little bit and a few bits and pieces, and I started loading after games. Like that's what they were telling me to do, and I was like, after a game.
Yeah.
I'm going down the road for a few minutes. But anyway, I started doing it and never had calf trouble after.
It's gas, isn't it?
It's mad, like. And then they were saying, like, heavy as you can put on the bar, you do it. Yeah, then I had, like, my calves, like, even doing single leg, like, calf raise, seated calf raise, like, I do, like, probably one of the strongest things in my body still, like.
Right. Really, yeah.
But it's mad, like.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that early on, like, and, you know, as you say, it's developed, you know, all that kind of stuff, science and everything behind it has developed a lot in the last years, but, yeah, it is, because
it is real one, like, with the gym, say, like what I said, I pulled my hamstring that time. I wasn't, like, I hadn't probably done gym in about 2 or 3 years, and we'd done a gym session on the Monday night.
Sure,
I was all tight coming out, and I shouldn't have just trained, but, you know, whatever. The warrior that I am.
Fucking pizza and 2 cans of Coke the night before to do any good, let's say.
Probably not.
Put your body on the line, Podge, fair play to you.
But it is that thing with, like, probably, you say, like, professional sport, are having the time to recover, like, the thing between gym and, like, say if you see loads of inter-county lads getting injured and they might come off the back of the gym, and obviously now you have the best available to you, but, like, you really have to get it right, the gym and the training on the pitch, because if you don't, you're probably just doing yourself damage.
You'll blow up, like, 100%. And that's why it's all individualised too, because everyone's different, like.
Yeah. That's and then if you hasn't come into the GA yet, I wouldn't say individualising that stuff. It's probably not there,
but as you say, it probably comes back to time, and
I don't like, think they have the time to put into
one kind of a
the old, like, I don't know what lads like, but let's say a lad 34 or 35 or that age bracket in GA, I don't think he'd have, like, we'd deload our lads, like, so we'd, like, front load the week, or let's say it was an hour of a session, he wouldn't do the last 10 minutes of 2 sessions that week.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So you keep him, like, you know what I mean, so you keep his volume down, make sure, because as you get older, obviously, naturally you start to slow down a little bit, and you just can't. You'd have to be very special to stay at the.
At that,
I would say Brad Tarn, for instance, like the New Zealand lock, when he came to us, he was fucking incredible.
What age is he? About 35, 36?
He was 40.
When he came back to Leinster?
Yeah, when he was in Leinster, he was nearly 40.
Beat the Lord.
Jesus.
Yeah, 13. He was 38 when he joined, and he finished when he was 40 in Leinster. Yeah.
Jeez, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, but he would, like, he was just a machine. But like, you'd go in the mornings, and I used to like going in very early.
Yeah.
He'd be already there doing his rehab, and then he'd be the last one to leave, type thing. Doing his rehab. And like, he'd just train hard. When he was on, he was on. When he was off, he was off. But like, he was a special type of person. I wouldn't say, like, you look at people now who would be there now at the minute that you'd see in the next few years now, you'd be trying to load. Just let's say some of the international lads there, that'd be on the older, hitting 33, 34. You'd be managing their load now.
Yeah.
Just being smart with them. Let them train smart, like.
Yeah. That you want to get the best out of them in game.
You want to get the best. So. You want to get them to Saturday, like.
Yeah.
I always say, what's the most important day of the week? And lads will go, oh, training or whatever. I said, no, it's Saturday, like. Yeah. But how can you get there in the best shape possible, and also the best mental space possible? And if that's taking 10 minutes off a session here on a Tuesday and taking 10 off it on a Thursday, and I am absolutely flying on a Saturday, well, that's better for the team. You know what I mean?
I find we get left the option too much. That should be taken out of the player's hands, really, shouldn't it? As in, 100%. Don't ask him, oh, do you want to step out here?
Yes.
Pull him out. Because and you see that
you're always going to say no, I'll do
everyone
it.
Say, and then because then the player thinks there's just a test as well, like, or you know, the same thing. I did that too often. I get a bit annoyed with that when a coach or a manager, a physio or S&C coach are like, how are you feeling? Oh, grand, good. Do you want to do this? Yeah, of course I want to do it, but are you telling me that I shouldn't do it? And if tell me not to do it. Like,
and I think the alignment piece there is probably what's missing in GA. I like, you'd want, you know, Kev, you just said there about, like, S&C's, coaches, management should be all in the room with that player and just say, look, what's the best for you every week? How can we get the best out of you every Saturday? And then the other thing then is the player doesn't feel like, he feels like, right, it's an open forum now, he can actually say, right, well, this is what I'd feel that might work for me, taking, let's say, 5 minutes off the 2 sessions or 3 sessions. And then the S&C just pulls him. He never asks him, out you come. And then the other thing would be is that the players are also know why that's happening.
Yes,
It
Player
doesn't look like
profile.
special
But that's the
treatment.
big thing when you get
It's not special treatment, but then
Yeah.
the other thing is, what I would have done in my last 2 years would have been, I would have been in early in the gym, let's say half an hour before the lads come in. I'd have a watt bike session done, but just a sweat like.
Yeah.
So they know I'm not fucking around.
yeah,
I'm actually doing something, but I'm not going to do the last 20 minutes of the session. But I've done something. You know what I mean? Just to keep everyone. It's mad, like lads that start bitching and moaning, why is he getting 15 minutes off?
It'll always happen, like
But it does, the alignment piece with managers, S&Cs, like, and the group knowing, like, then once you get to Saturday and you're performing, great.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's all
That's
that matters really. Lads, I'd say we could chat for another hour there.
It's too easy.
It's too easy, yeah. No, look, Kev, thanks a million for one we were really looking forward to having in. Say the career you had, and we wish you all the best going forward with Kildare and the tie, I suppose.
That's fine. Love it.
No, look, the best luck over the next few weeks. Obviously, I say it's funny, the same 4 teams have kind of been popping up in the semi-finals in Kildare the last few years, but it should be 2 crackers. Sean, thanks as always. I think you're off a few days there, so
I'm off for a few days.
Enjoy yourself and relax.
I won't be relaxing. I've a lot of work to do.
Oh yeah, that's where your happy place.
Yeah.
Lads, thanks a million. This is All About the Game podcast in association with Clinched. Before I go, actually, I will say we're up and running there with a few vacancies. Clotteringco looking for a manager. Ellistown in for a manager, and Carlow hurlers Ballinkillen are in for a manager. So
Spread
if you're
the word.
listening and you're interested, sign up. And
It's getting busy.
Okay.
The app is busy, so get on there and get
now
signed up.
happening early, so we're up and running.
Savage.
So we're going to wait if you'd say James Clonmore be looking for someone.
No, I wasn't going to say
Tee them up so nice.
Considering you said it, that could be the next vacancy if things don't go well this weekend.
No, this Saturday we're going to turn it around. Lads, thanks a million. Cheers.
Cheers, boys. Thanks,
You can get our podcast wherever you download your podcast. We'll be there. Cheers, thanks.